Good morning. Today I am making bread items. So we're making pizza dough, dinner rolls, English muffins, and bagels. Bagels is the last one. I already have everything prepped. This is gonna be a very smooth morning. Let me show you that. We have the pizza dough, the dinner rolls, and the bagel dough. And here are the English muffins. These were proofing overnight. Right now it is 7:58 a.m. So let's get going. I start with the dinner rolls first because they take the longest. The 3 other breads will be made in between, so really it's 4 different breads in 5 hours. With these rolls, I made pulled pork sliders with coleslaw. There are so many different meal ideas to do with the dinner rolls, so let's go ahead and get into this. Pour that on in. It's okay if it's a little clumpy, we're gonna stir it. We're moving on to the milk. We do have to heat it up, so I'm gonna pop it into the microwave until it's about 110 degrees. Warm milk. Give this a nice mix for 10 minutes. I do want to talk about my salt. I ran out of the Himalayan salt, the pink one. So right now I am using black salt. Look at this. I ordered artesian salt and I don't know. I got it and then realized I didn't have a use for black salt. I think it would be cool for like Halloween stuff maybe. What is it? Lava salt? Hawaiian lava salt or something like that. It tastes like salt, so we're good. Just gonna get it in a nice cute little ball like that. Kiss goodnight. Stick her in there. And then this will proof for 2 hours. Okay. And I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the garage. I put my dough in the garage because it's warm in there. And these are the dinner rolls after proofing for 2 hours. So beautiful. So whenever I first started making bread, I found myself making dinner rolls the most. They always came out so good and came easy to me, not like sourdough, which takes a lot of practice, but that's the whole point of this channel, to practice. Go ahead and oil these. That was a little bit too much. I'll put it in the other one, it's fine. It is time to portion out these dinner rolls. So this is the last proof for the rolls, and they will just go ahead and proof in the pans they're gonna cook in. So I'm measuring out each roll for consistency. I do this every time so they'll be perfect. So I roll them into balls and then place them in the pan. So now I'm gonna cover these, and then these will proof for another 2 hours. To the garage. This is the second proof, so this goes into the oven for 35 minutes. And here they are fresh out of the oven. My house smells absolutely amazing right now, I'm telling you. And look at that bounce. Ugh, these come out great every time, I swear. So this is a smaller batch for me. I typically make 24 at a time and freeze the rest. And when I need them in a pinch, it's easy to thaw them in the microwave. Just wrap them in a wet paper towel and then they come out great. Otherwise, they thaw just fine. Also, I love adding melted butter and salt to the top of the rolls. It makes them that much more special. A crispy shell of buttery saltiness that melts in your mouth. Check this out. So good. All right, let's move on to the pizza dough. For this personal pizza, I rolled it out into a very thin crust. I am still learning the ropes with pizza dough, so practice makes perfect. Don't get me wrong, the taste was great, but it does need work. Let's go ahead and get into it. Pizza dough. So let's get that started. And then very similar to the dinner rolls, here is what the pizza dough looks like. We have flour, yeast, salt. So we're gonna toss all of this in. And then we need 375 grams of water at 110. The water is at temp, so I'm gonna go ahead and add it into here. Okay, so I made a mistake. I put too much water. I did 375 of water into my pizza dough, and it's supposed to be 240. I was looking at the oven temp. So I'm gonna adjust that. I'm just gonna add more flour, and then, I don't know, we'll see how many personal pizzas that makes. Add the flour in slowly. Try to redeem myself here. It's already looking way better. It was way too wet. So I actually forgot. I do have to add this to the pizza dough. This is Mexican oregano, some crushed red peppers, and then I'm gonna add some garlic powder, a teaspoon of each. Mix this for about 10 minutes. Very repetitive. You know, that didn't go as planned, but you know, that's life. That's life. You just gotta adjust. You gotta bob and weave, bob and weave. I'm going to get this into a ball, and we are going to grease a bowl just like we did with the dinner rolls. And then this is gonna proof for 1 hour. So here is the pizza dough. This is what it looks like fully risen. It has a couple of minutes, but that's pretty much what it's gonna look like. Just a little bit, just a sprinkle, you know, sprinkle. And then here is the dough. I'm rolling these out to about 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. I then separate these into 100-gram balls. If you plan on using the dough right away, you can shape it and let it proof for another 30 minutes. I ended up with 10 personal pizzas. Like you saw, I kind of messed up here, so I had to add more because I added more water. And then I have this little extra piece of dough right here. What I'm gonna do with this, I'm just gonna keep this in the fridge and then make like a breadstick or something later tonight maybe. Okay, so I'm going to actually shape them like this, like into pucks, like that, and then set them here, and then do a quick flash freeze, and then grab them out and then put parchment in between each of them. So it'll be easier to take it out, and then it's a little bit flat, so it's easier for it to thaw out. Pizza dough is the newest addition to my bread skills, and so I am still learning, as you saw earlier. If you have any favorite pizza dough recipes or tips, let me know in the comments below. That would really help. Okay, and I have them flattened out into these pucks. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these in the freezer for a quick flash freeze. Okay, so they did a quick little flash freeze, so I'm gonna go ahead and pack these up, putting this in between each. And then I think that will be a good stack. I need to label it, and then this goes into the freezer again. All in all, not bad. It tasted like pizza, it was pizza-ing, it was doing the pizza thing. So let's move on to what I'm a little bit more comfortable with, bagels. I love me some bagels. I've only scratched the surface with these, but there are so many different kinds to make. I've made blueberry, cinnamon raisin, and jalapeno cheddar. But I like to keep it simple sometimes, so toasted and topped off with whipped cream cheese is my favorite way to eat these. Let's get into it. Pour this in, just like that. Okay, and the water's at about 100 degrees, so I will go ahead and add the water. And now we mix. Look at this ball, just off to the side. Incorporate. Accept him. So this dough is looking great. I need to get it formed into a ball, oil this up, and then this will sit for 1 hour. A little oil. So making bagels is a little different than the other breads. With bagels, you boil them in hot water and then bake them in the oven. Boiling them gives them that special texture, the crisp, slightly firm exterior, and then a chewy, dense interior. So I did a little googly search, and dude, there are endless kinds of bagels. Have y'all seen those colorful bagels? Like, what the heck? Those would be so freaking fun to make. I really think I'm gonna add that to my list of things to make. But I digress. Let me finish up portioning these out so it can be that much closer to eating them. I'm gonna cover these, and then they're gonna rest for 10 minutes. So we'll go ahead and place this over, and it's clean, it's just been loved, okay? The bagels are done proofing, so now I'm gonna go ahead and shape them. I have the water boiling, and the oven is already preheated to the temp that it needs to be. And so now we're gonna shape these into bagel shape. So just poke a hole. And there we go. So now we need to boil them. I dropped these 4 at a time into the boiling water and let them cook for about 2 minutes. And then I flipped them over to boil for an additional 2 minutes on the other side. And voila, boiled bagels. Look at them. They look great. This is the cheese I'm gonna be using for on top of the bagels. And that's Little Man. I'm cutting up some fresh jalapeños. Gloves always come in clutch. Okay, and I have the jalapeños chopped up for the bagels, and then we have the cheese ready to go. I need to shred this up. Okay, so I'm attaching this for the cheese to grate it. What is wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Beam me up, Scotty. Okay, did it. See, guys? I didn't get this far for nothing. I have my mixer out, so I went ahead and utilized the cheese shredder. I typically just use handheld, but I'm making a video, so I'm bringing out the fine china for my guests, if you will. And there you go, shredded cheese without the arm workout. I have an egg wash here. I'm using it to cover the tops of each bagel. This is going to create a shiny golden brown crust, and it will also help the toppings adhere to the bagels very nicely for baking. So I always have leftover egg wash, so I give it to my dogs, of course. Here's Chiquita, and Colonel said, no, I'm gonna take it. That's mine, actually. And you know what they say, waste not, want not. I'm throwing down the seasoning now. I use this seasoning here. It's smoky jalapeno, and it tastes just like it sounds. It's really good. I got mine at my local grocery store. I'm sure there's a version in any other grocery store. If not, sorry, I don't have HEB. Just kidding. Anyway, so I'm adding the jalapenos here, and let me tell you, honey, these were some spicy ones. Good nonetheless, but definitely a spicy batch. Now the cheese, my favorite thing after Jesus. And speaking of Jesus, when it comes to the amount of cheese I use, I'll just say I serve. Now we're gonna stick these beautiful babies into the oven. And here they are. Again, the smell of bread filling my kitchen right now is absolutely divine. So these came out great. A bit on the browner side, but that's right as rain. The extra crisp made them pop off, I think. And with cream cheese added, get out of town. These are delicious. I love this recipe and will be doing this again. Moving on to English muffins. So I've always had a love for English muffins, and this recipe hits every time. My favorite way to eat them is lightly toasted with a swipe of butter and an apricot spread. Honestly, perfect. Also, the good old American classic way, bacon, egg, and cheese. McDonald's ain't got shit on me. This is my 6th or 7th time making these, so they are a bit newish to me, but I will say when I make them, they come out decent each time. This time around, the dough came out a little wet, as you can see, so I just added more flour when shaping them, and that helped out a lot. This recipe also makes 14 English muffins. Mine were all different sizes, so I made 11. There's nothing wrong with different sizes, okay?
Size matters not. Look at me.
After shaping the muffins, I carefully scrape them up and place them on a parchment paper sprinkled with cornmeal to prevent sticking. The cornmeal also gives the English muffins that classic look. After proofing for 30 minutes, they're ready to cook. I'm gonna throw down some cornmeal. So just tossing this down so it will not stick. This dough is it's a very wet dough. And that's because we want the air bubbles. So that looks decent. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing these down. Carefully place these down on the Blackstone and watch the magic happen. Seriously though, out of all of the breads I make after sourdough, this one made me feel the most accomplished. Years ago, I always thought it was so awesome whenever I saw other people making their own breads or anything really, and never thought that I could do it. And honestly, you won't be able to do it at first. You have to practice. You have to fail several times before you get it right. So if you are out there and you found a hobby or you picked up a new skill, just keep practicing. Keep putting the work in. Keep going. Do it, lady.
Do it, lady, you know?
These came out bomb.com as usual, and with homemade, you will be sure to get a soft and fluffy interior, unlike the store-bought, which can be a little bit more dense, and the flavor is always there. So here are my 11 English muffins. looking stunning. Look at this baby. I'm always surprised, like, dang, I did that. And look at the bottom, perfect browning. And then the inside, the right amount of nooks and crannies. And that was the last bread for today. And that wraps it up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Have a good day. I'm gonna go ahead and eat some bagels.